Now, you have the worldwide community of the lunatic left Karens, the poison dart frog hairdo septum ring lunatics in the millions. They're like shark's teeth. You knock one out, 4 more grow in, and 4 hours later. Well, is it just me, or am I the only one in Canada that has completely had it with the way our country's being run? I'm not saying I'm at a breaking point, but as the days go on, the hours go on, I'm becoming increasingly more frustrated with the way society as a whole is acting and the way society as a whole is being treated in you know, specifically in Canada, my city of Toronto. Now, Mark Carney's over in China right now, basically stir the shit pot world tour for Mark Carney. But word is floating around quite a bit that Mark Carney is trying to set up energy trade deals with China. You know, and our main exportable commodity is oil out of the province of Alberta. Now, Trump went in to Venezuela, what, 2 weeks ago now, and he plucked Maduro's, he plucked his wife, and he plucked some other people, from what I've been told. And he plucked a bunch of computers, a bunch of files, a bunch of confidential information that Maduro's was in possession of wherever he was held up. These guys are shoveling the whole street. How you doing, guys? Where's your little dog? Where's your little white dog today? In the house? You lose it out here today. So they have a little white dog over there, and yeah, as you can see, we got quite a bit of snow in Toronto. I don't know where this climate change is, but I can tell you we do have climate change in Canada. We have 4 seasons, and we're currently in winter. It's about minus 14 Celsius, minus 13, minus 14. Look at this guy's fence and gate. That's how I'd have it set up. That's good. So Trump goes in there. He wants to secure the perimeter of his country. Now, Venezuela is at the top of South America, not that far, logistically speaking, for military action between Venezuela and the southern part of the U.S. So he waited on Venezuela long enough that that dope-pushing Nicolas Maduro's a communist patsy, the same as Zelensky in the Ukraine, and apparently it's the same as Carney, it's the same as Starmer, it's the same as Macron, it's the same as Anthony Albanese. They're all the same. They're all the same. What's this guy doing? Come on, buddy, let's go. It's a city of Toronto truck going and salting that laneway. It's not even plowed. Like, what, you know, freaking idiot. Probably going back there to hide. So why am I taking it out on city employees this morning? That's my level of anger. I'm taking it out on city employees, which I know, you know, they're more or less indoctrinated to do as little as possible as well to keep the budget up. Okay, me and my tangents. That's what happens when you do videos and you're out in the real world. It's very distracting for a guy like me. Shiny keys. So you have Carney in China, potentially setting up energy deals. You have Trump just went in to Venezuela, like I said, and he more or less wants the Chinese, the Russians, and the Iranians out of Venezuela because that oil is his, and it's too close to the perimeter from a security standpoint to his country. Now, what is Donald Trump going to do if and when he finds out that Carney has set up energy trade deals with Xi Jinping of China? He sets up an oil trade deal with China because it's appearing that China's oil spigot in Venezuela is no longer, okay? So Carney, it gets out, whether he wants that information purposely leaked from his propaganda wing, the CBC, or it slips out other ways, but it comes back when he's finished his tour to Davos, Switzerland, and I think he's going to Qatar afterwards to, from all accounts, to look into some Brookfield holdings over there. Because let's face it, this lizard, he isn't running Canada. He's running the World Economic Forum machine that is trying to collapse the United States. That's what he's doing. He's ahead of it. Klaus Schwab's he's an old Nazi. Fourth Reich, Klaus Schwab. He's too old. George Soros is too old to get his wrinkly old ass out and be the head Antifa foot soldier throughout the world. That's what Carney is. And I'm telling you, you can tell by my videos, I'm going to get increasingly more vocal and increasingly more unfiltered, because morning. So Donald Trump finds out that Mark Carney has set up oil deals with communist China. After not even a year ago, Mark Carney said that China was the biggest security threat to Canada. Obviously, Mark Carney is a fucking liar, okay? We all know that. And if you don't know that, you're part of the fucking problem. And, you know, when you swear in these videos, YouTube doesn't promote the video as hard in the algorithm as if you don't swear. So obviously I'm not too concerned about that. It's just okay. You think Donald Trump is going to allow any further incursion of a communist Chinese regime that wants the US to fail? Do you think he's going to allow that any further than it already has occurred on Canadian soil? He's not gonna allow any more of this. So the CBC and a bunch of right-wing alternative media like Moose on the Loose and Baked on Things specifically, they keep on saying that Donald Trump isn't going to invade Canada militarily. Now, I don't think they are going to invade Canada militarily either, but Donald Trump can't allow Mark Communist Carney to continue to allow China to encroach further and further to his borders, whether it be on the west coast, the east coast, or whether it be coming through his northern border, our southern border with the US. He's not going to allow it anymore. So one way or another, that fork-tongued lizard Carney is going to be forced out, one way or another. Now, you have the worldwide community of the lunatic left Karens, the poison dart frog hairdo septum ring fucking lunatics in the millions. They're like shark's teeth. You knock one out, 4 more grow in, and 4 hours later. They are a perpetual thorn in the side of North American democracy, the way North America has traditionally been run. So eventually they are going to have to be shelved as well. And what's happening in Minneapolis, Minnesota right now with the 2,500 ICE agents, they are coming to the point where they're not taking no prisoners. There are countless videos coming out of Minneapolis right now where they're just rounding these lunatics up, and that's the way it should be. If I was the ICE director, if I was Kristi Noem, Tom Homan, the borders are to a lesser extent, I would have those big white buses following ICE agents around in Minneapolis and filling them up, whether it be with illegals or whether it be with lunatic Karens and beta feminized males. Fill the buses up, because you can't obstruct law enforcement. If you are an illegal alien or an illegal immigrant or undocumented, whatever leftist propaganda word you want to associate with it, you're in the country illegally. You're already breaking a federal law, okay? So it doesn't matter if you're not a grapist. It doesn't matter if you're not someone that has unalived people. Of course, that'd be a priority to round them up first, but all of them got to go, okay? And I'm jumping around a little bit here. Let's get back to Trump and Carney, and I'm going to get back into the immigration thing. Trump's not going to allow Carney to keep going the way he's going, because he's got to put the EU, he's got to put NATO, the United Nations, the World Economic Forum, the World Health Organization. He's got to put them all on blast, and he's going to do that, in my estimation, at the WEF summit next week. That's what I'm hoping for. And if he comes out like a lion, that's what a lot of people are expecting and looking forward to. If he comes out like a little kitten, we're doomed. So Trump has to come out hard and heavy. I think this trip to China, I think the dealings were already set in motion. Like, China obviously wants Canada to turn against the United States. We know that. So I think the trip was kind of like a foregone conclusion, but it is a trip to put the world on notice that Mark Carney is the head bitch. He's a head bitch against Trump, and Trump knows this. So whatever relationship Trump and Carney may or may not have had, it's done. I'm under no illusions now. And even if this is an all a clandestine, double agent, triple agent, 4D chess move, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, I'm just an idiot walking in ruts in a snowstorm out in Toronto, and I'm along. I'm not saying my life is terrible. It isn't, but I know where this. Not only do I know where it's going, I know the end result if liberalism isn't finally eradicated. And when I say eradicated, I don't mean anything violent to happen to anyone. I just mean this ideological thinking has to go. It's failed. It's killing people, literally killing people. So Donald Trump is going to force regime change any day in Iran. Donald Trump's already forced regime change in Venezuela. He's going to go into Cuba. He's going to go into Colombia, and possibly Mexico to take out the cartel, because the cartel, obviously they're high-level dope dealers, but they are very very powerful and very politically persuasive. They have a lot of political pull in Mexico and around the world because they have a lot of money, and they have a very sophisticated network of dealing in geopolitics. So he's got to take care of Mexico. And in Greenland, that's up and down every day. Is he going to take Greenland? I think he is. Is he gonna send in the military to invade Canada? I don't think that, but I think he's gonna force Mark Carney out. He is gonna lean fucking heavy on Mark Carney. Mark Carney he doesn't give two shits about this country, not at all. That's not why he was illegally installed last April. He was installed the same, that dandy boy Justin Trudeau, like I said, resigned on the same day as Trump was being sworn in, January 6th, and that was the plan. If the Democrats couldn't rig the election to ensure that Trump didn't become the 47th president, it wouldn't have been such a priority to usher out Dandy Boy and hook him up with some weirdo singer. They had that. I guess that was his bonus for doing for being a patsy. They gave him Katy Perry. Wow. Anyhow, so then the ball was in motion. That's why Carney was laying in wait. He was laying in wait to see what was going to happen, and what happened is what the World Economic Forum, China, NATO, the European Union, they unleashed that little fork-tongued lizard, Carney, to go after Trump. That's like releasing a Chihuahua to go after a Rottweiler, a Cane Corso. Okay? So whenever the Chihuahua gets into trouble, he'll run back to his stablemate, his roommate, which is a Rottweiler, and he'll hide behind the Rottweiler, because the Rottweiler will defend his little pathetic ass. And that's what Carney expects China to do to him, that little pathetic man. I can hardly wait for Trump to sort Carney out. I'm not saying I want to be part of the States. I don't. I want to be Canadian. But Trump really has no personal skin in the game in Canada that I'm aware of, other than Canada can enrich his country. And and listen, can Trump be a cold-hearted bastard at times? 100%. But can he be an empathetic person? I know that as well. So he is now on a trajectory, on a mission to ensure that he can do the best by his country that he can in the next 3 years. Now, hopefully he wins the midterms. If he doesn't, that's another story. But he's going to come in, or he's going to persuade Carney to beat it. Now, if he's got to help Pierre Poilievre win the next election, he'll do that. Okay? I don't know why he helped Carney get in last time. I don't know why. Pissed off about that. But he can also change the tune and help Poilievre. PP, as the left calls him, the career politician with the normal family, the good-looking wife, the person that doesn't talk nonsense and actually wears a Canadian lapel pin. The guy appears to be like he likes this country. Carney appears that he likes his puppet masters. That's it. So now we have, okay, down in the States we know Sleepy Joe Auto Pen, and whoever running him is working the auto pen, let 20 million immigrants in, unvetted through the southern border, through wherever they came from, for fuck's sakes. They set them up in all these scams. They set them up in all these government-funded shell companies. That's what I call them. Leering centers, meal programs, translator programs. If you go to the doctor's office in Minneapolis or Minnesota, and you're Somali, and you can't speak English all of a sudden, you need a translator in your doctor's office. That's $100 an hour. Minimum 8 hours. So you might be in the doctor's office for 15 minutes. The translator gets an $800 paycheck from the government. True story, look it up. Now, apparently, if the Somali person doesn't have a vehicle or can't get to this doctor's office by themselves, because the only doctor they've seen prior to this doctor was a witch doctor in a mud hut over in Somalia. So of course they're going to have everything wrong with them. They pay the person or a company to go pick them up and drop them off. Like we got Wheel-Trans here in Toronto, which is a subsidiary of the TTC. But over there, they have people with minivans that apparently go pick you up. Go pick up, phantom patients. The grift, it's a grift scam after scam. They've used all the immigrants they brought in, including in Canada, to set up all these grifts that kick back to all the politicians and all the politician slush funds that they need to fund their own ambitions, but to fund, well, yeah, just to fund their own ambitions. And their own ambitions are to keep them in a job, a very high-paying job. Sure, they make $174,000 on paper, but they're making $3 and $4 and $5 million a year. I'm hearing some senator in Minnesota, his office was raided. They found millions of dollars in cash in his office, and I don't know how true this is, and a bunch of cocaine. I haven't verified that, so disclaimer. But that just came out. I just heard something about that this morning. Wouldn't surprise me. I've taken some of my vitriol out at the actual the immigrant community, and that's a mistake. It really is. Like, in Canada, in Toronto, we have Brampton. It's a huge Indian community. We have a big Somali community in Toronto, and an ever-increasing African community in Toronto, in the GTA. And at the end of the day, they come to this godforsaken country, which they've never seen snow in their life, a lot of them, and they got to deal with this, and then they got to deal with a bachelor apartment costing $2,300 a month. And then they got to deal with going and getting half a bag of groceries for $120 and car insurance and everything else. It's not their fault. We got to start putting the onus, the blame, the vitriol on the politicians that have facilitated this. And that's going to be my video. You got any questions, comments, or concerns, put it in the comment section. But I'm telling you, we can't continue going on like this. Thanks for watching. I gotta go home and shovel some snow. Bye.